Hello, hello Capricorn. Welcome to your June 2019 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a sun, moon, or rising Capricorn. And just so you know, I did launch a podcast recently, so you're welcome to check that out. It is listed in the description box if you're interested. And I'm going to lay these cards out and get started. Okay, now while I pull these oracle cards, go ahead, take a deep breath into the diaphragm. Notice anything that you want to have come up today, or if you have an intention that you'd like to set for this reading, go ahead and do that now. Hello to those of you who are just joining me for the first time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're wondering which decks I am using, go ahead and check out the description box as well. All of them are listed in there. All right, one more. Okay. Now let's get started with the truth bomb for you this month. We have change your costume. So this is interesting. It can be interpreted a few different ways, but really this is about you changing your role first. So you have to be the one to either change the environment, the costume, the mindset, the environment somehow. Like optimize your environment, optimize your mindset, optimize your success by really setting yourself up appropriately, like get the right tools. Okay, then I had you guys vote on Instagram which oracle deck you wanted, and you guys voted for Animal Spirit. So we have Deer. Okay, now this is about evaluation. So when I'm looking at this card in particular, it's about scanning the horizon. What are you keeping your eyes peeled for? What are you looking for? What are you really focusing on? And that's going to be the thing that grows. So pay close attention to the areas of your life that you're zooming in on or that you're fixating on. And then we have co-creation as the word of the month. Let go of competition, relax ideas of perfection, embrace play and playmates. Let the expression of your gifts create opportunities for others. Okay. So definitely about like checking in with who your co-creators are in present time and who you need as well. Now the central energy for you in the month of June is judgment, final decisions. Now let me pull the shifting out and oncoming energy before I speak to this, to give it a little bit of shape. So this is the energy that's shifting out for you in June. We have the Magician. I think you've placed an order, or there was something that you asked for, like something that you really needed or wanted and you mapped out for yourself. So you placed your order, and now I think you're making decisions about either to proceed with the very thing that made an appearance or to cast it aside. And then the oncoming energy for you is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to clarify this one as well, because what I'm getting is that things are really going to be picking up in pace once you make a final decision about what you want, where you're going, whether or not you're taking the opportunity that's presented itself. So to clarify the oncoming energy, we have the Seven of Pentacles. Casting a wide net. Sometimes just taking a step forward is the best way to get clarity. Think about it this way. It's going to be a lot more efficient if you take a step forward and then realize something isn't working and you need to change course, than if you sit in contemplation, don't take any action, and then you're never really able to figure out whether or not something is right for you. That's where people get stuck, is this place of, do I or don't I? Do I make this decision or do I not? The Judgment card is saying, yes, make a choice, like stick to something, commit to something, just decide and see it through to an extent. Like maybe there's some things that you need to shift away from, or there's some things that might not be worth giving a lot of energy to, but you won't know until you know. That's one of the unfortunate pieces, is like, if there's a fork in the road, you just need to pick a path. Like if you need to turn around and go down the other one, you can, but you need to start down one and just see how you feel and check in. The Seven of Pentacles coming up right here is indicating that there's a lot more decisions to be made along the road that you're going down. It's not that one decision is going to blast you in the right direction and propel you forward so much that, you know, it's irreversible. And in the same breath, it's like, making small decisions doesn't mean you're not making progress. So you have to think about it somewhere in the middle. Like just because you make one decision doesn't mean you can't refine. It doesn't mean you can't change things along the way. There's a long series of decisions that you're going to be making, and this is just one step in that process. So try to take some of the pressure off of, I need to know for sure and then have my 10-year plan and then have absolutely no deviation from that plan at all ever. That's not realistic. You're really going to end up like pigeonholing yourself if you start thinking that way. So just keep that in mind as you're walking down this. Like try to take some of the pressure off of making a decision or moving forward in some capacity. Now with these 4 cards that I have right here, I left them really flexible and loose. So it's just whatever needs to come up for you is going to come up, and whatever you need to hear is going to come up. And I didn't put a whole lot of intention on these. So we have the Two of Pentacles. This is that decision that I was talking about. Pick one. The more time you spend contemplating, the more uncertain you're going to become. Okay, so it's just better to make a decision than to spend more time thinking about it and driving yourself crazy. And then we also have Justice. You know what? Let me pull these. I think there's more coming through. So then we have Strength. I want to pull the last one and see like what else is going on here. And then we have the Fool. Okay. No matter what you decide, you could have the most even-keeled, balanced perspective on things, and you're still going to feel like you're jumping off a cliff. It's still going to require discipline. It's still going to require you to apply yourself in a lot of ways. The Fool is just here reminding you that feeling of jumping off a cliff isn't just, like, it's not just an anomaly. Like, it's something that's a natural part of this process. And so the more comfortable you get, the more power you get from taking those risks and making those leaps and making those attempts. That's what the Strength card is showing you. The better off you're going to be. Do not strive for perfection this month. That is not going to help you in the slightest. That's what the Justice card, it looks like this is kind of throwing a wrench into things. The contemplation is coming from a need to have absolute certainty or perfection in the direction that things are going, the way you're doing things, whatever the case may be. I'm going to clarify the Strength and Fool down below. We have the Five of Pentacles. So it's okay to fear loss. That makes sense. That's normal. I'm not going to tell you, abandon all fear. While that is ideal, of course, that is optimal. If you can get there, well done. But just understand that your body and brain are trying to do their jobs. It's really trying to keep you safe. So it's normal that if you're making big changes, if you're making big decisions, if you're making big strides, you're going to try to talk yourself out of it by aiming for perfection. That's one thing that's going to come up here. And the second thing is that everything is going to be telling you, no, don't do that. No, it's probably not going to work out, to prevent you from changing and evolving and growing, right? So now we're all coming back to this with this Deer card, constantly looking for threats rather than opportunities. And that's something that may not work to your advantage this month. So it's something where you want to focus on the reward rather than the risk in this case, because there's nothing else you can do. Like, the best option is to try. The best option is to go for what you want. That's the best possible thing that you can do. And so this is where it's saying you have the power to go on that new journey or to start that new thing that you want to do. All of the power is there, but you have to take the risk regardless of the fear that's coming up, because it probably will. And that's okay. It's just about continuing to take steps forward anyway. Okay, now we're going to get into a timeline. So first, second, third, and fourth quarter, that'll be where you wrap up the end of the month. Where you start off June is the Hermit. This is that contemplation mode. So this actually is where you're probably not making as much progress as you'd like if you're spending too much time thinking rather than doing. It's a common trap that we get sucked into from time to time, is wanting to map everything out or experience perfection, experiencing total clarity. This is also a natural thing to have pop up during Gemini season, because it's a cerebral time of year where very much in our heads, very much mental processing. And so I'm not surprised in the slightest that you have the Judgment, the Two of Pentacles, or Justice, Judgment, and Two of Pentacles coming up here. But it's about being able to see your goal through all of that. So despite what you have coming up here around perfection in any way, shape, or form, it's about doing this anyway and making those moves anyway. So while you might want to be a hermit in the beginning, let's see what the second quarter has in store. Okay, Six of Wands. This is the victory card. So kind of coming out of things, out of that space of contemplation, quiet introspection, doing things solo, being independent, thinking. It looks like you're really emerging out of that space, that quiet or mental solitude or incubation. And so I think you can really make some good moves during this second quarter. This is when, if there's a time when you're feeling particularly motivated or you have the energy, you want to use that to your advantage. You want to strike in those moments, because that's going to be an easier way to work with the energy that you have rather than squander it through overthinking. It's okay to do it. Like, look, sometimes we do need to put a plan together. Sometimes we do need to map things out. And then other times the plan falls into place through the actions that you're taking. Things are going to become more refined. And if you need to make adjustments, it's better to take action so that you can learn that sooner rather than later. This month is about collecting data. Like, once you make a decision and you stick to it, you're going to be able to collect the data that you need to move forward from that space. So the third quarter, we have Strength. Okay, same card that we had here popping up. This has been showing its face quite a bit in these readings. So this is either like if you've had some victories or things go well or things be on your side. The Strength card is saying, okay, yes, this is the confidence that you've needed. This can also, the other thing I'm getting from this is kind of like the Fool in a sense, like jumping out into the unknown, into the unfamiliar territory. And that's what you had sitting here. So once you take that risk or you do that thing that might be uncomfortable, it actually inspires more confidence as a result. More of the information comes through from that place. So you can really trust yourself with all of this. It looks solid, even if it doesn't feel that way. Just take it step by step and know you're heading in the right direction. And then wrapping up the month of June, we have the Chariot, forward momentum, moving in the direction that you need to go. That's what the Chariot is all about. But remember, the Chariot comes with a certain sense of a lack of stability or not having everything all figured out or all put together. The Chariot is like you're taking messy action. That's the best way I can describe it. Like you're doing it even if it's not totally perfect. The Justice card and the Two of Pentacles want things to be perfect. It needs to be totally figured out. It needs to be totally mapped out. You need to have it figured out from head to toe. You need to have all the answers ahead of time. That's what those cards represent in order to, of course, that would be nice if we could make decisions from that place, but it's not always achievable. Sometimes you just gotta put pen to paper and see what happens. So this just looks like your confidence will grow the more you do. Okay. So now we're going to do a 3-card pick. You're welcome to ask a question. You can ask for guidance. You can pick as few or as many cards as you'd like. There's no wrong way to do this. Card number 1. We have the 4 of Swords. It's okay to rest, but also understand what environments, spaces, people, places, things make you feel energized and what makes you feel depleted. That's the question that this is having you ask. Like, have you had an abundance of rest, or have you been using like rest as an excuse to not take risk? Or is this something that you're genuinely like, no, my body is burnt out? So just check in with yourself. There's no judgment. It's not right or wrong. It's just about where are you at this point in time? Because you're going to want to catch yourself for like little mental traps if you're using certain excuses for different things, or if you're avoiding something. And then card number 2, we have this, wow, the Strength card for a 3rd time coming up. Trust yourself, trust your personal power. Like, it's not going to be as intense as you're probably building it up in your mind. So do the thing, take the risk, try it out, see what happens, do it. Like, you're gonna have to make the attempt, and trust yourself even if you are feeling really uncertain, or maybe if you don't have that confidence quite yet. You have to get the data first, and then the confidence will grow from there. Doing hard things is what will inspire more of this personal strength and power. And then card number 3, we have the 10 of Cups. This is a strong yes card. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Take time to celebrate, enjoy yourself, have fun. Really use this as an excuse to like marinate in the good things that you're experiencing. That's the best way I can describe this, is just use this for what it is, which is a magnet for more of this experience, more of these feelings. So the 10 of Cups is like, you've worked really hard and you've done a lot of great work, so enjoy yourself in this space, because it's going to magnify as you focus your attention here, and as you pay attention to the things that are inspiring this, and continue taking action that got you here in the first place. That's going to be really helpful for you at this time. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I always, always, always appreciate you, and it is such an honor being able to do these readings for you. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram at Onyx Healing. There's been lots of good stuff going on over there, so make sure you check that out. And just so you guys know, I have made a lot of changes to my website and what exactly I'm offering. So I'm doing way more work with people one-on-one in individual sessions. I have been dialing back the private email tarot spreads that I was doing. I am really taking a step back from those and working with people one-on-one. But if you are interested in doing some energetic healing with me and more of the deep healing work, that is absolutely what I'm available for. And don't forget, I still do lots of tarot on Patreon. There's weekly sign-specific readings, as well as the monthly love and relationship readings for every sign. They're big readings like this. So all of the links for that are in the description box. I hope you check all of that out if you're interested. There's lots and lots of varieties and options for everybody. And don't forget, I have a podcast out now. The link for that is also in the description box. Please check that out. I hope you guys enjoy it. And until next time, I wish you nothing but the best, everybody. Have a wonderful June, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.